Hi friends, welcome to Drop-Ins with Dr. Awesome. I am Dr. Awesome, and this riveting video is file organization. Alright, like I said, we're going to be talking about file organization, and in this case I'm going to be showing it to you in relation to Avid Nexus, but you can apply this to pretty much anything, whether it's working from an external hard drive, desktop, whatever. The idea is just you always want to know what your files are called and where they're at. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and open up the workspace that I'm going to be putting all of this in, which is this Fall 18 Comm training. I'm going to double click on it to mount it. Then I'm going to come over here and double click on it to open it. Before I do anything else, first thing I'm going to do is take this drive that has now appeared and I'm going to drag it over here into my favorites bar. And the reason I'm doing that is just so that Final Cut, Premiere, Audition, all of the software can actually find this external drive, because otherwise they have a little trouble with that. From there, you can see that this workspace is empty, so the first thing we want to do is create a folder in which to house our project. So I'm going to hit right-click, New Folder, and then we're going to call this Organization, and go ahead and move into that folder. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and insert our memory card. It will appear over here in the same area as our workspace did. Go ahead and open up your memory card and let's see what's actually on it. Looking at this, I have an interview, another interview, B-roll, B-roll, B-roll. Moving on down, all of this appears to be B-roll, except for down here at the bottom we have what appears to be two still images. So with that, we know that we need to create at least 3 folders within our primary folder over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create one folder and call it B-roll. Let's create another folder and call it interviews. And one more new folder that we will call stills. Then I'll come up here and just click on this arrange by name to make sure everything's all clean and happy there. Then we're going to come back over here into our SD card, or CF card, depending on what you're working from. And I'm going to take these 2 interviews, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select both of them, and I'm going to drag them on over into this interviews folder. Once those move over, the next thing I'm going to do is make sure they did actually move. So I'm going to open up this interviews folder and I can see both of my interviews here. I'm going to go ahead and name them real quick. We'll call this one Interview 1, and we'll call this one Interview 2. And this is just so we can tell them apart later. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to my main organization folder here, and then I'm going to select my B-roll over here. So then once again, let's click, hold down the Shift key, come down to your last B-roll shot, and just drag all of those over into B-roll. And then let's just move our last 2 pieces of information here, these 2 still images, into their folder. Go ahead and come into B-roll, make sure it's all here, which it appears to be. Let's go ahead and name all of this. So just do that. I'm going to go ahead and set this into preview mode here so I can see what I'm looking at. This is a hall shot. Fountain. And you can call these whatever, it's just a matter of making sure that you recognize it later. Once you've got all of these named, we can go ahead and move over into our stills folder and make sure that we name these as well. So we'll call this one map. And we'll call this one boat. Once we've got everything named, we're ready to start moving towards our actual project. So I'm going to come back over here into my main organization folder. I'm going to right click in here one more time and create a new folder, and we're going to call this project. Cool. Now it's time to go ahead and open up our editing software. I'm going to use Premiere. So you come over here, scroll through until you find Premiere. Go ahead and open it up. Go ahead and hit New Project. We're where it says untitled, let's go ahead and name it. I'm going to call it fall18.com training dot organization dot my name, Clint. So that tells me when it was shot, what it was shot for, the project, and who did it. Then I hit browse, and I come over here to my Fall 18 workspace, organization, project. Choose. All the rest of this is okay. So once this comes in, it's all blank and empty. The easiest way to go ahead and get all of these files in here is to come up and File, Import, navigate through your folder here. We'll start by bringing in our B-roll. So just select the whole folder and hit Import. Once they come in, you'll see an actual folder here labeled B-roll, and if you double click on it, it opens up. All of your shots are there. They're all named, all easy to find, all easy to use. So let's go ahead and bring in the rest of our footage. Again, just go on through. And remember, the cool thing about this is that when you're importing these files in, you're not actually changing the original file. What you're doing is you're creating a link to an original file that it can then find. So that's why it's important to know what all this stuff is, because if you change computers, there's a possibility that it won't be able to find it. Once we've got all of our stuff in, we go ahead and check. So I've got my B-roll, I've got my interviews, and I've got my stills, and we seem to be good to go. File organization really is super important, and it's not that hard to do, and it will make your life so much easier. If you have any questions, come by my office, shoot me an email, and as always, keep shooting, friends.